Ever wonder what happens when a billionaire has an existential crisis? Usually, they buy a rocket company or a social media platform. But Yvon Chouinard said, hold my sustainably sourced beer, and gave away his entire $3 billion company to fight climate change. That's right. While some billionaires are trying to colonize Mars, this one decided to save the planet we already have. Hey, climate warriors and corporate rebels. I'm here to break down the most epic take your business and shove it moment in corporate history, when Patagonia's founder literally gave away the company to Mother Earth. And trust me, this story has more plot twists than a Netflix series about environmentally conscious penguins. Now, before we dive into this corporate soap opera, let me paint you a picture. Imagine you've built this massively successful company selling fancy outdoor gear to people who want to look like they climb mountains, even if they're just climbing the stairs to their apartment. You're worth billions. You've got a loyal customer base, and your logo is basically the unofficial symbol of, I care about the environment, but also like expensive vests. What do? If you're Yvon Chouinard, you pull the ultimate reverse card on capitalism. Let's rewind to how this all started. Chouinard began as a rock climber who made climbing gear in his parents' backyard. Yes, literally a garage startup. But instead of creating another app, he was forging climbing equipment. He was like Tony Stark, if Tony Stark wore fleece and worried about glacier melting instead of alien invasions. Patagonia grew from these humble beginnings into a $3 billion giant that somehow managed to maintain its soul, which in corporate terms is about as rare as finding a vegetarian at a steakhouse. They were already doing things differently. Remember when they ran that "Don't buy this jacket" ad on Black Friday? That's like a pizza place telling you to eat a salad. It just doesn't happen. But here's where things get really interesting. In 2022, Chouinard looked at the traditional options for what to do with his company. He could sell it, boring, take it public, extra boring, or pass it to his kids, who apparently were about as interested in running a company as cats are in swimming. So he did what any reasonable person would do. He gave the whole thing away to save the planet. Now, this wasn't just a simple, here's my company, good luck handoff. The structure they created is more complex than trying to fold a fitted sheet. The voting stock went to the Patagonia Purpose Trust, while 98% of the company's common shares went to a nonprofit called Holdfast Collective. This means that every year, about $100 million in profits go straight to fighting climate change. It's like creating a money printer, but instead of causing inflation, it prints funds for saving polar bears. Let's break down why this decision was as groundbreaking as discovering coffee that doesn't stain your teeth. First, it created a new model for ethical capitalism, which until now was about as common as a unicorn riding a dragon. Instead of maximizing profits for shareholders, Patagonia now maximizes its impact on environmental protection. Second, it showed that you can actually put your money where your mouth is when it comes to corporate responsibility. Most companies' idea of environmental responsibility is switching to paper straws while still producing enough plastic to wrap the moon. Patagonia said, hold my organic, fair trade, carbon neutral beverage, and went all in. The impact has been significant. Since implementing this structure, Patagonia has continued to grow while pumping millions into environmental causes. They've funded everything from grassroots activists to large-scale conservation projects. It's like having a really rich friend who's really into saving the planet, except this friend actually follows through instead of just posting about it on Instagram. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The decision has sparked a movement in the business world. Other companies are looking at this model and thinking, hey, maybe we don't have to be evil to be successful. It's like watching the corporate equivalent of a villain's redemption arc, but with better outdoor gear. The structure they created ensures that the company's values will survive long after the original leadership is gone. It's like creating a corporate version of a Horcrux, but instead of preserving dark magic, it preserves environmental activism. The trust structure ensures that Patagonia can never be sold or deviate from its mission, which is basically like putting a permanent "Do Not Evil" sign on the company's door. Now, some critics said this was just a clever tax move. To them, I say, if you're going to do tax planning, wouldn't you rather the money go to saving the planet instead of buying another yacht? It's like complaining about someone donating to charity because they got a tax deduction. Sure, there might be some tax benefits, but the end result is still more money fighting climate change. The real genius of this move is how it's changing the conversation about what companies can be. For too long, we've accepted that corporations exist solely to make profit, like assuming cats exist solely to knock things off tables. Patagonia showed that a company can have a higher purpose while still being successful. This leads us to the broader implications. We're seeing a shift in how people think about business and success. It's no longer enough to just make money. Companies need to consider their impact on the world. It's like we're finally realizing that having a healthy planet is slightly more important than quarterly earnings reports. The model has also inspired other companies to rethink their structures and purposes. While not everyone can give away a $3 billion company, the principle of building purpose into your business model is spreading. It's like watching a really positive virus spread, but instead of making you sick, it makes companies better. Looking ahead, the impact of this decision will likely grow. As climate change becomes an increasingly urgent issue, more companies might follow Patagonia's lead. Although probably not with the same style, it's hard to match the swagger of giving away billions while wearing a fleece vest. So what can we learn from all this? First, that it's possible to do well by doing good. Second, that there are always alternative paths, even when conventional wisdom says otherwise. And third, that sometimes the best way to protect something you love is to give it away. Unless it's your Netflix password, then you should probably keep that to yourself. Before we wrap up, let's address the elephant in the room. Or should I say, the sustainably sourced, free-range elephant in the room. This move by Patagonia isn't just about one company doing good. It's about reimagining what business can be in a world that desperately needs solutions to big problems. It's like they've created a blueprint for corporate responsibility, but instead of printing it, they've carved it into recycled bamboo tablets. The truth is, we're at a point where traditional business models need to evolve or die. Climate change isn't waiting for quarterly reports, and the planet doesn't care about shareholder value. Patagonia's decision represents a radical but necessary shift in how we think about business success. So here we are, watching a company choose planet over profit, purpose over personal gain, and long-term impact over short-term rewards. It's like they're playing chess while everyone else is playing Monopoly, and they just donated the board. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into corporate rebellion and environmental activism, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And remember, sometimes the best business decision is deciding that business isn't everything. Stay curious, stay sustainable, and maybe buy a Patagonia jacket. At least now you know the profits are going to something good. And hey, if any other billionaires are watching this and feeling inspired, I hear the Earth is still accepting donations. Just saying.